What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. Seal, how's it going, bud?
It's going great. Just consenting to being recorded right now.
Do you have
Love
to
it.
actually click it?
Yeah, you have to click it. It says by continuing you consent to being recorded.
Uh,
Yeah,
I
I
thought
love
the
it.
whole audio going, you're now being recorded would count, but it's not.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, dude. I'm got a big life step going. Haven't bought beer.
Bolton beer.
Yeah, thought it was gonna help my brain cells when I stop. Haven't bought beer in about a week now. Still drink a little bit. I think I drink
Right.
like 2 or 3 beers. Drinking a little bit of bourbon tonight, but not buying beer. Going to stop for a little bit, hopefully. Which some people are like, yeah, I do that all the time. I've literally drank alcohol every single day for at least 5, 6 years now. I say at least because that's what I can kind of go back and remember.
Right.
But so everything's going awesome. Football's coming back. I was a little sad coming up to football just for the fact that we have a week off. It's like, yeah, only 3 preseason games, and then we have a week off.
Right. Yeah, what was the point?
Hey, it's still exciting. A lot of these people, Everson Griffin got brought back to Minnesota, where it was probably a little shaky experience coming back off the shit after all the shit he was talking about Kirk and that offense that he had to go and try to bail out every single week, and they ended up cutting his ass today. Had to come back to a 53-man roster yesterday, if you're listening now. So a lot of exciting news, and it's going to keep coming out. A lot of really good players. Sheldon Richardson. No. Sheldon Day, I think the Browns guy who got released today as well. So a lot of big names getting cut and that are definitely going to be picked up here soon. So I'm excited for this week of non-football. College football started this weekend. What was there, like 4 games, 4 blowouts?
Yeah, just nothing. I don't even think there was a ranked team, was there?
I don't think so. I doubt it. I had nothing that I cared about. I had ESPN on all Saturday while at work, and I looked over and kept seeing 38-0 and replays coming up after the 4 o'clock slot, so I could care less. But we got Miami, Alabama coming up. That's a hell
Is
of a
that going to be
game.
good though? Come on.
I think it really is.
I mean, Derek King might make it.
The reason it's going to be it's because Alabama's a pipeline, but they're not bringing back anybody this year. If this is a year that Alabama looked normal, it would be this year. And Miami's bringing back everybody back, but like 4 or 5 people on the whole offense and defensive starters. They're only bringing back.
And I mean, they have the Heisman front runner, unless you think it's Radler, but they have one of the 2 Heisman front runners.
Yeah, so they're bringing back everybody, but Alabama always has studs. Everybody, we say it every single time we talk about Alabama. Their third string is a starter on 75% of other college teams. So that, yeah, but apparently the spread's -18, right? Ooh. The score. I will take 18 points for Miami, and
give me 18
on the money line. So, but I'd be down for that. But yeah, I'm excited, dude. Florida, we're playing FAU. I wish it was at FAU because I could go see that. That'd be great. That'd be a great reason to call in sick. But it's going to be at home, and I only say it's not at FAU because we're wearing white, dude. It's going to be a whiteout home opener.
Nice.
First time we've worn white since like 2000.
Yeah.
And at home, and it's going to be the home opener. How do you feel about that to start out the show?
The Gator game in general. I mean, we're gonna
the white. We're wearing white. Yeah, we're rolling through them, but white at home, home opener. Coming off the year we had last year. To remind people, we were
fresh. I think that's what they're going for.
Missed field goal away from really being anything in rankings. I mean, we ended up screwing ourselves against Alabama there in the championship game, but still. We were a missed field goal away from even still with a loss to Alabama being talked about in a playoff game. So off the heels of that, to come out wearing all white, for me, you know me as a fan, I'm kind of stupid when it comes to that swag factor and stuff like that. I don't like it. I don't know what they're doing, but
I think they want to start fresh. It's a blank slate. That's kind of
like blue. I get that.
Don't worry about losing
all
Trask,
the fans to wear white.
Pitts, losing all those guys. Hey, let's start fresh. Let's get 1-0. And let's go from there.
Yeah, that's actually, this is crap.
So I'm excited about that. Obviously, I don't think the game will be exciting. At least I hope the game's not exciting because that means it went poorly. But one game I obviously am excited about. If you are listening right away on Wednesday, then tune in tomorrow. A lot of people wait till Thursday to listen anyway. Lately because I've been posting on Thursdays, but I'm off tomorrow, so I can post it. And is UCF. UCF's going to be facing Boise State. And that's one of our biggest games that we've ever, school programs at least, that we've ever been able to schedule, that looks like it's going to really be okay. And we should be the favorites. Boise State's not what Boise State was before, but at this point, you just got to schedule name recognition, man. And Boise State's still got that recognition name. So if we can come in and smash them, then that'll look like coming in and beating Boise State by a lot when they're in their down year would look better than beating like a Vanderbilt
State
or some scrub
on a great year.
Good team. Yeah. Stuff like that.
So, but the only thing for me is I'm still not in on DG. I'm still not in, and Boise State's not known for their offense, even in their high years. They're not known for, or not their defense. They're known for a really good offense and a really cool field. So if DG struggles against them, it could be a long season. So I'm excited for tomorrow just for that, to be able to figure out what we're going to have at quarterback with him. And am I going to be able to be all in on him to get up? And
he's better than Felipe Franks, I'll tell you that.
Oh, fuck yeah. That UCF Cincinnati, see who's going to get up there and who's going to be at the top looking down.
Well, that's the thing that, I'm in on DG. I think he's a great quarterback, but he had receivers last year. And I think that's really going to be the case. I think it's going to be if he can elevate the people around him. I think he's a good player, but he needs to be able to make everybody else better. You didn't have to make the guys around him last year better. They were already good. So now he's going to be trying to get Flash Robinson or whatever as his number one. That would be like Deshaun Jackson being your number one receiver. Like, hey, he's good, but can we get somebody in here that's actually like really good? So we'll see if he can elevate some of those younger guys to be that number one receiver. But I'm not super worried about Boise State. I'm really not, but I'm excited to see what the product is on the field. My boss graduated from Boise State, so there's a little bit of some added rivalry. We've been shit talking a little bit. I told her if we win on Thursday, I'm not working on Friday. And she laughed, and I said, "You act like I'm kidding." But so we'll see about that. So let's go DG. Let's put it down. Let's get it done. But I am going to talk to Eddie. I don't know if it'll be recorded, but me and Eddie have a call tomorrow. I want to just kind of talk to him. I haven't talked to him in a while, so I'm going to ask him about the season, and I'll report back to you guys next week for sure. If I don't record it, but
I was going to see. So we were looking at kind of talking about maybe moving again to a Friday night and move it to a weekend kind of thing. And even with football, maybe we could come together for 20 minutes and break down the football schedule. Who knows what that could be, but it seems like every time we post an episode during the week, 2 days later, half of it's not relevant. And even more so much news has broken. We're like, damn it, if we would have waited 2 days, we could have had a full episode, which seems like when we start the week, there's not so much there. So I was thinking that'd be great for him and his busy dad life. Friday nights would be perfect, I feel like. And even for you, just to bring it up instead of recording at 11:45, 12 o'clock at night a little bit, it'd be awesome. But yeah, I'm excited to talk a lot of college football, and I'm sure he is too. But
he's chomping,
quick,
man.
A little bit of the UCF-ishness. I'm trying to look up. I haven't really heard anything about too many starting depth charts in college. Any word on Mackenzie Milton, because they have a big game coming out against Notre Dame week 1?
No, he had a setback, sadly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they said after one of his practices he had a numb foot again, so they dropped him back down, and he's on the injury list right now. They just want to double check it and make sure. But man, I hope he doesn't need more surgeries and all that shit. But
damn it,
he said he feels fine now, but it's one of those where numb foot. Let's figure out what's going on. You had a pretty bad injury, so he's scratched right now in that regard. I think he's actually on an injury list right now, but hopefully he's fine, and hopefully he can get some reps later on.
Damn, that's crazy. That's really crazy when you look. I mean, we watched the All-American show with Spencer James and stuff, and those nerves, man, it's crazy. It's no joke.
But speaking of depth charts, the NFL, of course, has depth charts. We already talked about the cuts were happening. Our boy, which it was a foregone conclusion, but Kyle Trask did make the team. Ryan Griffin, RG4, finally got cut, which sucks. He's going to get practice squatted, I hope. I don't think anybody's going to pick him up. He's been practice squatted before for us, but we don't normally do it till later on in the season. So we'll see if he gets picked up. Probably not. He's a veteran at this point, but we love him in the QB room. So we want him on the practice squad, but we had to get Trask on the team. So that's really exciting. It's Blaine Gabbert, right? Is our other guy. I really couldn't care less about who.
Yeah.
I think it's Blaine Gabbert, but it's good to see that Trask is going to be there and continuing to get reps under Tom Brady. The last preseason game, he looked really good. And he was, again, playing against the guys that were probably cut today that you're going to see on that cut list. But he looked really good. He made most of his passes, had a couple touchdowns, like 170 yards and a half or something like that. So I'm very excited about the future of Kyle Trask. And obviously with him being on the Bucs, it's just even more exciting.
Yeah. So I'm not really too mad at ours at all with all our cuts and stuff like that. I wish we would have kept another receiver. We have 5 on our whole roster. We have 5 receivers, which is kind of annoying because we did all these signings and drafts and all this stuff. We got what was that kid's name? Jalen Camp real late. We could have got somebody else that really could have ended up making the team, especially with special teams and stuff like that. But we went ahead and got Camp. We cut Colin Johnson, that huge 6'5" dude out of Texas, for no reason whatsoever. We kept that kid Walker Little that I was really high on. He's still on the team. So I'm not really too mad at everything except the Minshew trade. We're not going to talk about it anymore. We already talked about that a little bit. Not excited about that, but I get it. Do you want to talk about? No, we'll keep on the roster moves right now and all that stuff. But that's my only thing is we have 5 receivers, 3 of who are slot receivers. So I kind of get that. We have DJ and Marvin Jones, DJ Chark, that is, and Marvin Jones on the outside, and then LaVisca and Taven Austin and Agnew there to just do what Taven Austin and Agnew do what they've been doing. And then LaVisca can continue building his legacy, as I think he's going to do as one of the best slot receivers in the game. And that Swiss Army knife he's going to be. But man, to get rid of that 6'5" guy, if he has 6 snaps a game and they're all in the red zone and he has 5 receptions for 5 touchdowns at the end of the season, that's well worth the $1.3 million you're going to spend on the second year receiver that was a 4th round, 5th round pick last year. To just cut the guy is ridiculous. He's going to end up getting picked up by somebody who's going to do that. A Patriots that seem to find guys like that just sit and make $1 million to play 15, 20 snaps a game and figure out a way to be like, hey, bro, we need you on special teams, but you might get 3 touchdown receptions this year. So that's the only annoying thing I can say. But I'm ready for the season, man.
Yeah. So before we jump on some other like big names, I'll talk a little bit about the Bucs as well. Obviously we dropped Ryan Griffin, which is fine. I like the QBs we have. And one weird thing, I'll talk about the big name that I'm pretty upset that we dropped here in a second, but it was just because we brought back so many of our starters, so many of our guys from the Super Bowl. We had to make some tough cuts, and the tight end Tanner Hudson getting cut is not really a huge deal, but it's a huge deal because we don't have tight ends right now. OJ Howard's hurt. Cameron Brate's hurt. We literally have one. Well, they'll probably be ready by week 1. But if we had to play a game tomorrow, we would have one guy to dress at tight end, and that's not okay. So I don't know why we didn't keep Tanner Hudson. That's pretty tough.
I hope we are up on the waivers for that guy, dude, because we have Luke Farrell, O'Shaughnessy, and somebody else that's bad. O'Shaughnessy's a 69 in Madden. Farrell's like a 66. Jeez. And it's not good. It's not good at all. That dude there he's going to make some money in the NFL.
Yeah. And the guy,
I thought he got a start. I thought he deserved maybe not a starting job, but definitely 3rd down plays for sure, and have a chance to really make a statement in the NFL as one of those up and comings. Damn it, I lost it. Goddard, like a Goddard kind of guy that really just gets out there and he'll look good a couple weeks. If you can finally figure out that week on fantasy, you're really going to fall in love with this guy, and he'll really be a good team player, and the fans are going to like him. But that's not the case for him in Tampa, which stinks because you have those guys like OJ Howard and Cameron Brate that are going to be able to get those snaps, but a healthy OJ Howard didn't get those snaps that I feel like
Well, a healthy OJ Howard still drops 5 balls a game. So
This kid definitely, and I feel like that's another one of those we've seen a lot in this season for sure. One of those no pressure releases. You don't want to add pressure on to our already pressured room of tight ends.
Right. And again, I mean, you have Gronkowski. You're not going to drop him. Braid at this point is our veteran. We want to keep him around. We want to let him ride out his years. And then Howard was our highest drafted, like the highest drafted tight end. So we got to try to see what we can do with him. So I wasn't as upset about that. But the guy I'm the most upset about was a foregone conclusion. I think it was a 50-50 shot between Jaden Mickens and Jalen Darden because we have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Scotty Miller. Tyler Johnson was up in the air, but he was going to be on the team. So it was really Jalen Darden and Jaden Mickens. I liked Mickens more. I liked him when I watched him in the preseason every game more, and he's the one that got cut. Darden was the one that got kept. So hopefully Bruce Arians knows more about football than I do, and Darden's not going to touch the field either unless there's injuries. But
I think we had
like
Mickens
Mickens
last
better.
year. I think we had Mickens last year and ended up trying to put him on the practice squad, and you guys picked him up for y'all's practice squad. And he's been chilling in y'all's practice squad.
Yeah, I liked him better this preseason. But again, I mean, you're not going to start over any of those guys that I mentioned. So I guess you don't like Scotty Miller because you decided to make a weird throw up voice, or were you doing that about somebody else?
Oh, no, I said what? Because you just kept naming all the fucking weapons y'all still have. Like, keep it going. Come on.
So somebody's going to probably grab Mickens as well. He's a really good player. And if he makes it into our practice squad, I'll be surprised. But I would be happy about that. But we can go through and we can look at just a couple of names that were jumping out at me as I was just browsing it earlier today. And there's the obvious one that we'll get to in a second because that's the big story. But before we get there, I wanted to look at just a couple of other names and just kind of say, why were they cut? Where did they go? Or just what happened? And I wanted to start with a name that just jumped out at me because I was watching that QB1 thing again. And Jake Fromm got cut from the Bills. What is it with these Georgia quarterbacks that just can't stay in the NFL?
I don't know, man. And that's another. He's early too. Like this is what, year 3 for him. So yeah, that's early. And I don't understand it. Since Matthew Stafford, it seems like there's not. And even before that, it doesn't seem like. Who was the dude before him? No, that was the running back that was really good for them. Herschel Walker. It wasn't really quarterbacks. All right, cool. So yeah, Matt Stafford was really the one cream of the crop for them, and it hasn't been anything since. But yeah, man, it's weird. I thought about it too because that seemed like a good spot for him. He's not a tall guy, but he sits in the pocket. He can command the offense, and it seems like Josh Allen has learned a lot from that organization and that coaching staff, and that would have worked out really well for him. And he seems like a good backup quarterback. Well, I guess not, because is it Peterman?
Yeah.
Nate Peterman was the one to beat him out. And like everybody knows, Peterman almost ended up in Canadian football, which seems like Fromm's going to.
I'm pretty sure Peterman has 1 touchdown and 14 interceptions in the NFL, something like that. Like, not even kidding. I didn't look up the stats, but it's something like that.
So the reason we know about this guy is because he had 5 touchdowns in 1 half to start a game.
Yeah, just to the wrong team.
So yeah. And it's sad, man. He had a good career in college and he seemed like he was going to be good. Another guy that was on QB1 show.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't understand it. And maybe it's just the fact that Georgia is so good at defense, so good at pounding the ball. The play action
they run a lot. I mean,
wide open that it makes these quarterbacks look really good at throwing a 25-yard out. I mean, a 25-yard out is a 40-yard throw, and they just make it look so routine that when they get in the NFL and they have to make that 40-yard throw every single play of the game on a 2-step hitch route, it's not like these receivers go way faster, and that 25-yard out happens like that, and they're on a 2-step drop back. They're not able to get into it, and having to throw it. You don't have all that room in the NFL. Sometimes you got to be able to flick it. That's why oh my, have you seen the videos of A-Raj? Did you see the other dropped the other day?
Yeah.
The 40-yarder, that's why that flick of the wrist is so insane, dude. I can't do it. I mean, I never was the strongest quarterback in the world. I was just really precise on my throws, but just that's the big. You're not ever going to have this room in the NFL to be able to just sit there and let the pose go. I forget what quarterback like to say that. Let the pose go. But yeah, so that's really, I think, the biggest thing for a lot of these college teams that come out running. Alabama seemed like that for a long time until now. Tua's going to end up getting gone. He's going to end up being one of those quarterbacks that just go around as a backup. I feel like that's what we're going to get before we get on the big thing. The Gardner Minshew's, the Tua's, those type of players. Jalen Hurts is going to end up getting swallowed by a quarterback in this next draft coming out. Philly looks like they're still looking for an answer. They don't feel like that's it. That's why they got Gardner to put pressure on Jalen to play better. They want quarterbacks that can get them rings now. They don't want to have to rebuild. And if they do, they want that rebuild to be their 10, 15-year quarterback, like a guy who came out of Alabama and stayed with Alabama, didn't have to go to another school and figure it out for them.
Yeah. So before we get to some other big names, I want to pour one out for UCF, man. I'm probably going to miss a bunch of the names, but Shaquem Griffin got cut by Miami. Trey Nixon got cut by the Jets, which is ridiculous. The Jets suck. Nate Evans got cut by, I think it was the Chargers. I think there were like 4 or 5 guys that didn't make it past final cuts. And that's pretty upsetting because we watch those guys, at least me and Eddie, and when I can get a UCF game, we watch these guys and we understand that they're good. And it's like Nate Evans was one of the best UCF linebackers that we've had. And it's just hard to see these guys go down. And I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if it's something that Gus Malzahn can switch, but there's a difference between being good in college and being good in pros. And you talked about it with the quarterbacks, but that happens everywhere. The game speeds up, and that UC fast thing is great and all, but it's not teaching these guys how to play professional football. And it's kind of a sign when you see people not making these cuts that were your studs when you were playing or watching your college team play football.
Yeah, it seems to happen a lot. I forget his name. The right tackle dude from when you were there. Big dude, beautiful hair. Ja Reed. He did good. I think he ended up getting a ring with Baltimore, but didn't see much of him after 3 or 4 years. Just kind of gets lost in the system, and that's really what happens with these UCF players. They get lost in the NFL. I don't know if it is. I don't know. I can't really put my tongue on it. I can't put my finger on it, but I feel like it's crazy. Like if they're really on the cusp, like can we get a all UCF Canadian football team going so they can just run the table there? Like we look like I agree. Like a lot of these, Nate, there's no reason Big Dog can't. He can play for the Jaguars. Yeah. Like I hope we pick him up that he could, like the Jets. No, that was Trey. But
no, that was Trey, and he just. I mean, he looked good in the combine, so I guess they just don't think he looks as good on the field.
It sucks. It's one of those things where I don't know if they get looked down on, but once they get into that shot, the NFL, these coaches, these staffs don't give a damn about what school that you went to.
That's true.
They look at what you can do right now. And yeah, it has to say a lot to the system that was in place for the last, 6-7 years since George O'Leary.
Yeah. When we were getting players like Latavius Murray and stuff into the actual NFL. So one guy that we want to mention, and I'm sure he's happy because it was Houston that dropped him, but Jeff Driscoll, our boy, got sent packing as well.
I didn't think he would.
Didn't they just grab him like for the last preseason game or something like that?
Then he showed out. Like he did good. Like he showed that he could play. But I think them cutting him, Deshaun's not going anywhere. Teams aren't going to. So yeah, let's talk about that for a second before we get into the big NFL story. Right. So apparently what's going on with that is it's down to like 4 or 5 teams, and those teams aren't willing to give the 3 first rounds, and I think it's a 5 pick overall without some kind of, hey, if this dude gets sent off with any of these picks up and out, I want those picks back. Like I'm not giving you this. If you get to draft the 2022 first round and I only have them for 2021, I want the rest of it back. You can have that 1 pick. Appreciate you for the first season. I want everything else back. And Houston's saying, nope, you're not getting anything. Whatever you give, we're going to get. It is what it is. And it's crazy because a lot of these teams, like the Eagles, for instance, they're thinking they could win now with him. And are they willing to risk like their whole future pretty much and not having any picks for the foreseeable future in this year? Because who knows what could happen next year. Like he could end up being dismantled, not allowed in the NFL, not allowed to live anywhere that without a huge ass sign in front of his house. Like a lot of stuff could come from this. And he could not even live in a fucking house. He could be in jail for the rest of his life. He could, like, a lot of stuff could come from this. And for teams to not even have any kind of insurance on that, and for Houston to not be willing to, I feel like the NFL should be able to step in some aspect and rule, be like, you have to be able to give insurance. If you want to talk trades, you have to be able to put this in a stipulation.
Even if it's like compensatory picks at the end of the round or just something.
Yeah.
Because they already do that, but it's not till like the 4th or the 5th round. They should allow for like a first round pick to be, you get pick number 33 if he doesn't get to play or something like that.
Yeah. But that's what's going on there, which is really weird. So it seems like he is going to end up being in Houston until they figure out what the hell is going on with the court side of it, which is crazy because he doesn't want to be there whatsoever.
I don't think he wants to be anywhere right now. I think he just wants to be out of the spotlight.
You think he wants to be in another country where he can't get extra?
Yeah, he wants something. He wants to be out something.
He's like, can I go to a London game? Can I get a London game?
Right. I'll play for Jacksonville for just 1 week and then I'll stay there after we get there. It's crazy that he got dropped. I thought he's always showed out when he can, but maybe he's just not smart enough. I don't know him personally, but maybe he's not smart enough to really get a full playbook because he always has the same package. He's had the same package since he's gotten to the NFL. So maybe either coaches aren't confident that he can actually expand the playbook, or maybe he physically or mentally can't do it. I don't know. Because he didn't even have a different playbook at Florida. He did the same stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But let's move on and let's talk about the one person left in the QB room at New England. So Brian Hoyer and Cam Newton both get cut. And I'm sure it's not one person. I don't know who they have. There are other people, though. But Mac Jones is now the starter. He's the starter from day one. There's, like I just said, there's nobody else even there. That I don't know who would compete for it. I talked about
him Seasman or some shit. Fuck.
Yeah, I truly don't know who it is.
Stedman.
Is that what it was?
Stedham.
Jared Stedham.
Yeah, there we go.
So yeah, it's Mac Jones that's going to be there, and this man looks better and better every single week that I see him. And we talked about all 5 of these QBs from the first round are going to be good. Well, 2 now get to show it from the very beginning, and 3, I guess. Zach Wilson's playing from the very beginning too. This is one of the first times that we're not going to see people wait around.
So. The Bears haven't released anything yet either, right?
They said Andy Dalton's their starter.
Oh, they did.
This morning I saw it on Get Up.
I saw yesterday they were still undetermined.
No, Andy Dalton, Booger was pissed. He was like, which I don't really trust all that much from Booger, but he was like, this is the wrong move.
Well, did you see how the other day they said, did they say anything to anybody? And somebody was like, yeah, they did. I think Justin Fields was like pretty happy about it, but I could be missing it could be a different team.
We'll see. As soon as Andy Dalton goes out there and throws 2 picks in the first half and they're like, all right, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was it for you. But yeah, so anyways, back to Mac Jones. Do you think it was just Mac Jones' play that got Cam to be cut? Or do you think there's something bigger that is at play here? Because obviously he had to miss 5 extra days and then now he's gone. Like, is it just play? I mean,
no. It's a couple of things. If Cam's play wasn't enough, he wouldn't have gotten back on the team. They see Mac Jones as somebody that they can lean on and build on for more than foreseeable future. They can look at this guy for 10 years. They look like he could be part of the Patriot way. He's not going to be dancing around between snaps. You see videos, Cam will get the ball, throw it, and get back to his little dancing and stuff. Yeah. Mac Jones is there for the reps. He's there to learn. He's not getting distracted. It's not just like another day at the office. It's really like an overtime assignment with him every single day. And from everything on the ins and outs, it seems like Mac Jones is ready to go. I mean, for God's sakes, he was at Alabama for 4 years. So he knows all about preparation. He knows all about what he needs to do to win a game, even if that is backing up Jalen Hurts and Tua for a couple years until he gets his shot. He was there. He was ready to go. And he got another one, got a cigar in his mouth, looking like an old retired vet.
Yeah, he didn't look like a QB for one thing.
But I believe in the kid, and he really set the standard, I feel like, for the Patriot way again. And it stinks. I feel like it was going to be another Bledsoe to Tom Brady kind of season, but it was just too much with that whole COVID thing. I believe Matt Jones is vaccinated.
Right.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
the whole thing with Cam and everything that's going on, I think that was just one thing that Bill wasn't willing to oversee. Like, we all know he looks at everything. And we found out through this whole thing that vaccinated players are treated completely different process of having a quarantine, of their away days, everything like that is completely different.
They don't test as often. They don't do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that had to come into it and be like, dude, let's just get that non-vaccinated guy out of the whole system to where he can't even affect the quarterback room if he does get the COVID, because these two guys here are vaccinated, and this dude has been showing the fuck off in the preseason. And oh yeah, by the way, New England loves him already, so let's just go ahead and name him the starter. Nobody thinks that we're going to win this year. Everybody thinks it's going to be either the Bills or the Dolphins. So let's just take this year. Let's build up with this guy. Let's start a rapport between Daniels and Mac Jones, and let's get the show going this year instead of waiting until week 7 and having a couple games to go. And the only reason you're starting that is because Cam just got COVID, and now you got to worry about if he has to fucking contract trace with Mac Jones at all, being in the quarterback room at the same time. Now we have sit on for 2 weeks. Let's not even have that happen. Let's just get rid of Cam. Let's have Mac. Let's get the show going. And that it's bullshit, because now the NFLPA is going in on Urban Meyer because he said
that it was a factor.
Yeah, that COVID, the whole vaccine was a factor into him. But I think he said something about a certain player is what really got him in trouble.
Like why he cut a certain player.
Yeah, but we all know that at the end of the day, that had something to do with Bill cutting Cam. And also in football, you look at every player's their pros, their cons, their weaknesses, and all that stuff. And in today's society with the NFL and their rules against COVID and all that stuff, the vaccine comes into a pro.
Yeah, it's a strength, not a weakness. Absolutely.
Exactly. So for the NFLPA to try to come in and say anything about that would be stupid. So you're going to say some guy that can only do 25 reps on a 250 should be looked at the same as a guy that can do 83 reps on a 250 at the same position?
Yeah,
no, right. He's not as strong as this guy. The stronger guy is going to get the nod, just as the vaccine guy is going to get the nod in today's age.
And honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, a coach can cut somebody for any reason. It really doesn't matter. But obviously, when you say things like that gets political, it's going to be a little rough. And Urban probably shouldn't have said it the way he said it, but of course it's a factor, and that's the way it's going to be for the foreseeable future. Just real quick, not that we get political at all, but with the vaccinations, they are treated very differently. They do have to, I think now vaccinated players have to get tested once a week, which is great. I mean, I'm all for testing, whatever, but the non-vaccinated people are getting tested every day, but then the contact tracing is different. The actual quarantines are different. Everything's different. What do you think about that? Like, do you think that the rules should be different? I mean, there are obviously science-based things one way or the other. We don't have to take sides or anything, but do you think that it's just unfair for a difference in the way that rules are put in?
Yes. For the simple fact that we live in America, you should be able to have your own choice. But at the end of the day, I'm reminded that that is a private entity, the NFL. Mm-hmm. It's not a public entity. So they can do whatever they want. Like if I walk into a gas station that doesn't want me in there because I'm not vaccinated with a mask or whatever the fuck, they have that right. They can say that. That's their plot of land. They can say what they want because they live in America. That's their right. But I have a view. No, I don't think it should be any different we have come to find out that a lot of people who are vaccinated can still get sick. Now, these scientists, I'm not going to, these scientists are coming out saying that, oh, well, you can still get sick, you can get COVID again, but it's not going to be as bad. It'll probably speed it up by a couple of days.
Right. So, and that's why the rule is that they can quarantine
yeah,
for less
exactly,
and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But to me, COVID is COVID. Like the flu is the flu. Like I don't care if you got a shot. This is me. I'm not a scientist. I'm a damn bartender and a server.
Right.
I'll make you drinks and I'll get you full and happy. That's what I do for a living. All right. But for me, like if somebody has COVID, I don't want to be around them. How long? Oh, I had COVID last week. I'm good. Bitch, 14 days at least.
I don't care if you're vaccinated, unvaccinated, whatever. Like
that was what they said. 2 weeks is a safe quarantine. 2 weeks. I don't give a damn if you had a shot. Did you get your booster? No, because you just got sick. Oh, well, now they're saying if you have both of your vaccines, if you get sick, you might as well have just had your booster because that's what it is.
Yeah.
No. So I don't want to be around you for 14 days at least. That's why Cam only had to be away for 5 days because he was treated as a vaccinated person throughout that protocol scenario. Right. So no, I don't want to be around you for 2 weeks, which is going to affect a lot of people because if they come back after 5 days and it comes to come out that, oh, they can still affect people with antibodies and all this shit that I don't know about because my brain's not scientific.
Yeah, I don't understand all that. I hear it go in this year and I go, wow, that's really interesting. And then it's gone.
Yeah, the reason I'm not a medical assistant is because me and science didn't get along. We didn't see eye to eye. We were like this.
Yeah. Science aside, I think the rules being different is just difficult. And like, if they can't put a product in there that has a rule set that's workable, then I don't think they should have put it in there at all. Like it's really difficult to do that. And it's funny because that's the way they did it with the kneeling. And again, we're not trying to get political, but they didn't have if you feel this way, you can do it this way. If you feel this way, you can do it this way. They came out and they were like, the NFL is going to unite. You can't kneel. That's just what they said. And they were like, it's overarching. That's the whole NFL. But now with COVID, they're allowed to say, well, the NFL is not united. We're going to do this and we're going to do this. And that's why I disagree with just the separation of the rules. I'm not going to go into what I think the rules should be one way or the other because I don't know enough because I'm not a scientist either. I'm an accountant. And I just don't like that they stand firm together in one thing. And then now they're like, oh, well, we'll just let you do one thing while you do another thing.
And don't you feel like that kind of the NFL, they've learned that they can do the old, here's this.
Dangle the carrot.
Hey, the dingle the carrot. Hey, we won't test for weed, but let's play another game for free.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And hey, if you only be gone for 5 days instead of 2 weeks, if you get that shot.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's asinine, and I still feel like we don't have enough. It's been a year.
Right.
Scientifically, a year is nothing. We've been looking at so many different diseases and stuff like that. Still don't have a cure that we've known about for tens of hundreds of years. And like SARS has got, my kid ain't never gonna get chickenpox. High five to that shit. That shit was brutal. I got scars everywhere. But we're not far along enough with the COVID to where I feel comfortable enough to get something on my shoulder. And thankfully, I'm in a profession where I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
But also, my owner of my company isn't like, hey, if you do this, you'll get paid $7 an hour, not $5.36.
I heard
that's absurd.
I heard my HR person just talking to somebody before they shut the door, and it just was along those lines. She wasn't talking about what our thing was going to do. But she said something like, have you heard that other companies are offering these like gift cards and incentives and stuff? And then they closed the door. I was like, damn it. I want to
Jails. They are offering. So baby girl told me about it. A specific jail was offering like a $40 goodie bag. Yeah.
What's mine, dude? If you offer me another,
so like commissary, right? So like honey buns, chips, stuff like that.
Oh,
like
for the prisoners?
Yeah,
I thought you were working about for the workers.
No, for like prisoners, for like people, for inmates and stuff like that. and like trying to, because they're all confined. They want them to get vaccinated.
Right. Yeah.
Your face is stuck on my screen right now. That's hilarious, and you look like this. But
maybe I'm just sitting like that.
Yeah, doubt it. But I'm glad the audio's still there, so I don't give a damn.
My video's there, so I don't know what
so
it's
they're now you're back. So they were literally doing like $40 worth of commissary and pre-made bags. Like you didn't get $40 credit. It was just, hey, here's a Easter fucking basket of commissary to get the vaccine. Like that is insane. That is absolutely insane. I mean, kids growing up nowadays, like, yeah, you should have a lollipop at the end of it. Like, no, bro, you should have your own fucking decision, and there shouldn't be shit weighing on it. It's just either
it's funny because it should be like, here's what it does good, here's what it could do bad, here's the rarity, the blah blah blah. Go for it, figure it out, do what you want to do. But yeah, there's companies offering like $1,000 bonuses and stuff like that. And I've heard that it's a controversy because obviously there are people that are already vaccinated and now they're not getting it. But I'm like, shoot, you want to throw $1,000 in my pocket? I'll think a little harder. Tell you that.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Tell you that. No, I mean, I'm doing.
Yeah, we're not gonna get political.
Doing what I'm doing, but
deep down, I feel like
hey,
this could be some crazy
I can
ass.
Be bought shit.
This could be some crazy ass genocide, fucking planned shit for the whole world, and I'll be one of the people left in 6 months to 3.5 to 5 years, like the man said on the video.
If Biden wants to show up on my door and offer me 20 years of free rent. Get me started.
All right, so real quick, I don't want to put this at the end, but shout out the 13 servicemen and women were brought home today. Shout out to them. I want to shout out to all the restaurants and bars and stuff that have been showing pictures of them reserving tables and spots.
The Braves reserved section 13 in their field today. That's put 13 American flags in the seats, but nobody could sit in section 13.
That's cool. really cool.
Yeah.
So I really like that. Shout out to them. But yeah, I just thought about that when you said Biden because he checked his watch during the whole thing, which pissed me off.
Yeah, but yeah, if he wants to show up and offer me 20 years of free rent or some shit, I'll be like, all right, stick me, bro. Let's do this.
You're only gonna get through 5 years, bro. I'm good.
Yeah, he knows. He's taking the advantages here. He's like,
I'll wait. I will wait.
But anyways, let's get back to sports. But yeah, so Mac Jones is the guy. I had another point that I was going to make, but I'm not going to make it now.
I'll get to it. Mac Jones is the guy there. They spent about $100 million of new players in this offseason. They had to get a lot of draft picks this year because they sucked last year. And, you know, maybe that team isn't going to have to go through too much of a rebuild. They didn't think they would have to go through a rebuild. They kind of got snuck by with having shit players and pretty good core players. And, oh, yeah, the GOAT, Tom Brady.
But it's because they had to play the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Jets. They did not expect the Bills to get good when they did.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem that they ran into. It's not that they knew their team sucked, but they knew that the other three teams sucked worse. True. And at this point, even with their team sucking, the other two teams might still be worse. So it's a possibility that they could jump into a wild card position. I don't think they ever think that they could beat the Bills, but if Mac Jones comes out there and wins a couple games he shouldn't win, they could be in the wild card hunt, you know? Is it still just 6 or did they, I don't even know.
I don't know, dude. I don't fucking know. But it kind of sucks though. As a fan of football, we hate the Patriots. I'm an AFC fan, hate the fucking Patriots. 2017, Miles Jack wasn't down, hate the fucking Patriots. So it sucks because I thought TB12 leaves. They're going to go through a good 5-10 years of probably down years. Spent a shit ton of money in the offseason. Seemed like they got another quarterback who's really about that Patriots way and is going to be really good in that offense. And Josh Daniels is going to really be able to find really good things that he does great, like he did with I like Tom Brady now. He won me $600. I can't talk shit anymore. But it pisses me off thinking that the Patriots are going to be really good in 2 years instead of fucking 10 years.
Yeah, me too.
But just so the listeners know, oh, there's my little teardrop. But just so you know, Mac Jones doesn't put me out. Trey Lance could still be the first person to steal the starting job from a starting quarterback because Cam Newton was not the starting quarterback. He wasn't named the starting quarterback. He was cut before that happened. So, fuck you. I'm still in the running.
That is true. You are still in the running, and now it's down to 2. It's just him and Justin Fields, and they might both start they might both play at halftime of game one and then and tie, because I don't know, Jimmy G looked pretty good in the last preseason game, actually.
He did.
But yeah, anything else in football before we move on? And
no, just
shout out.
Just shout out to, I talked about it a little bit, to all these quarterbacks playing in the last preseason game, which never happens, and it happened a lot. So shout out to these teams really taking advantage of the bye week that they're going to have and really getting these guys into it, because like a lot happened last year, the soft tissue injury. So more reps you can get for these star players, the better. And
shout out to J.K. Dobbins too. I mean, that sucked.
That hurts, man. Yeah. That really hurts for them. But they still got Lamar, so their running game is going to be fine. That's really bad. A young guy who seemed like he was going to be a staple in the NFL for a couple years. Running backs don't really get a lot too much. We see in Todd Gurley, who can't find a fucking job. That sucks.
Yeah,
that's really shitty. But he can come to Jacksonville, take Carlos Hyde's spot. It's weird how
with a bum ACL.
But isn't it weird how these guys, like Carlos Hyde's proven? Like, don't get me wrong, he's proven. Not so much as Frank Gore, but isn't it weird how these guys who were so good, like 3 years ago, Todd Gurley was 2 years ago, he was the fucking truth, and then they got in the playoffs and decided to start somebody else, and now he's nothing.
Yeah, and I don't know, like there's still speculation that he was hurt, but I don't know. Maybe it's one of those Isaiah Thomas kind of things where like only they knew, and it just sprung on, and now he's never going to be the same again. And he's going to have to go drop 80 points in the Drew League. But yeah,
I'll send you that video, right?
I've seen it.
Made me cry.
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't think you sent it. You might have. I don't know. But all right, so let's shift gears and let's move on to baseball. Baseball is starting to get near the end. We're in the last month. Well, if you guys listen to this, we're in like the last month of the regular season. I think there's actually 3 games in October or something like that. But the Giants have finally decided to hit a wall. Tonight, I haven't checked yet, but they were losing 6-0, and that would mean that they've lost 3 straight games, and they're finally trying to give the Dodgers their 15th, I think it is, 16th division title, and the Braves are kicking our butts as well. So it's a problem, but we do get to play the Giants for 3 games. As of right now, we are 1.5 games back. We get 3 games against the Giants. It is the most important series that we have all season. We have to find a way.
Y'all ain't get y'all's butts kicked. It's 2-1. Y'all got 2 on, 1 out.
Oh, good.
One on first, 1 on third, and the Giants are down 6-1 to the Brewers, bottom of the 7th, 1 out, 1 on first.
So if those two, if we end up winning and then the Giants lose, we'll be a half game back to start a series against them. But all season they have just destroyed us, and that really scares me. I'm going to call it here, guys. If we are not ahead of them at the end of the series this week, we will not beat them in the division. If we are ahead of them at the end of this week, we will beat them in the division. And that's with still, I think, like 30 games to go. I'm calling it right now, though. It's the last series that we have against them. And I'm really excited because I think that, I mean, obviously we're already clinched the playoffs, but I want that division title once again. And then I want to run it back, get champs times 2 on this hat right here. I'll just embroider the times 2 myself, so I don't have to spend more money.
It's got a shit ton of trophies on it.
But you guys are threatening to give away your final wild card spot, and it's basically because you guys can't fill the team. What's going on with your boys?
Yeah, dude, it's stupid. We have COVID galore. Let me see if I can find the damn page. No, I think I lost it, but I named like 7, 8 players. Kike, Xander Bogaerts, Matt Barnes, just some of the key players for us to get out, a couple coaches. And it stinks because who knows? Like, we both know with baseball, especially the way we've been this year, how fucking happy and excited we are, and the camaraderie. Everybody's around each other all the time.
Right.
So to see everybody, Xander got pulled out mid-game today, kind of like with the whole fucking Giannis thing getting pulled off of the fucking practice. All right, he's really got COVID. This game can't happen. World shuts down again. Hopefully this doesn't happen. Hopefully we feel like we got a fucking containment on it, and we can kind of get the players that don't have it out and keep the product on the field that is. But it sucks because the product's going to be on the field at this point in time. It's going to be ass. We have another 3 games. We just started a 4-game series against the Rays, which we lost. We have another two or three games left in this series. It's not looking good, boss. It's not looking good at all. But the only good thing that we can hang our hats on is the Yankees are choking as well. We're not so much choking. We're just not able to do anything with the people we have. As long as we can keep Rafi on, we'll be fine. Chris Sale came out COVID list and had an immaculate inning.
His third of his
career. 9 pitches, 9 strikes, 3 outs. Let's go. We're fucking back. 85 years old, 8 surgeries later, on the fucking mound. Chris Sale jersey coming to a closet near me soon. My dude's fucking back. But yeah, that's about the only thing I can say yay about the Red Sox right now until we can get to it. Hopefully the Yankees are able to sneak through. Hopefully we can win through this series because it's close. Let me look at the numbers real quick. I don't know why I'm on Fanatics right now looking at my orders.
Trying to find that Chris Sale jersey.
Yeah, it's not close at all. They're 9 games up on us. The Rays are. So
yeah,
we're pretty much either going to be playing the Yankees in the wild card, or we're not going to be in the wild card, or we pass them and they don't end up in the wild card is what's pretty much going to happen in this last month. So let's just hope these guys can come back. You know, there's no lingering effects. I don't know the MLB's policy on the COVID, but hopefully Papa COVID can't fuck us too much. And because dude, it sucks. July, we were looking good into July. Like we were like 15 games up on the Yankees bitch asses. We were looking good.
And then they won like 15 games in a row. And
then we won like 20 games since and we suck.
But yeah, I mean, luckily, like I said, the Dodgers are clinched, but we don't want to let that division streak go. But hopefully both of us can make the playoffs because obviously we need to talk more baseball and that will guide us to talk to more baseball. But I did want to just bring that up real quick. So hopefully the Dodgers get it done. I've already called it. I've made my prediction. So hopefully we finish that up. But we want to go out of here.
Real quick. Also, I want to just tease and peas to all these guys with COVIDs and stuff like that. You know, it's a real thing. People can die from it. So just thoughts and prayers with them. Don't want to look at them.
It's not 5G. It's not 5G coming in and doing that. I saw that on Facebook.
It is.
I was cracking up, bro.
Bro, you don't remember me talking about like 2 years ago, 5G is going to fuck us. And here we are with COVID.
I don't even think
I did. I think it was on the podcast.
I think there's like 6 countries in the whole world that have 5G.
Like last year I talked about how it was like hiding in a tree. It was like a fucking
the whole 5G owl up there doing his thing.
No, it was a fake tree.
Oh yeah, those trees with we have so many of those out here in California.
I saw one.
We have a lot of
5G tower.
Yeah, we have a lot of them.
And that's why California shut down because y'all are the main one. They're like, shit, we started this whole thing.
Right. No, I saw that it was a nurse talking about COVID, and then like this guy commented like, "It's a 5G coming for us." I was like, dude, like 6 countries have 5G, and like every country has COVID, so I don't know if that totally works out. But
how about the Haitian president who tested? Remember, I told you about this.
Maybe
did I tell you about this? He tested a fruit.
Oh yeah.
Fruits, and he tested a goat. And they both came back. He put names and ages on both of them as if they were human samples. Sent them back to the U.S. because he didn't want any of that shit. He was like, hey, listen, we're good. We'll deal with it. Don't want to worry about it. We're good. Still got sent them. I don't know if it was from the U.S. or where it was from. Still got sent COVID samples or test kits. So he said, you know what? You want to fuck with me? I'll fuck with you. Sent them off, came back. Hey, bro, your country's got COVID. All right? Your country's got COVID. And so
and then he said, can you bring us 5G, please?
No, listen. So that was like a month and a half, 2 months. That might have been a long ass time ago when that happened. But that story just started circulating.
Right.
Got assassinated last week by an unknown gunman.
Pretty sure that happens pretty often. But
the whitest kid you know, dude.
We're gonna
apparently he was about to come out with a great skit that had something to do with the uppers of LA and all their craziness and all their gory shit that they like to do.
Gone. Nipsey Hussle. Weird stuff. You don't want to know about all that.
I am so happy I'm not shit because if I ever find anything out,
I know.
I had my voice of 8 people and I let them all know and they were woke with me, I'd never get killed for it.
Yeah, nobody would care. Nobody would care. So
they'd be like, you really think that crazy guy's telling the truth?
Let's end this podcast by doing what we do when college football comes around, and that is making our picks. There's only a few ranked matchups this week, but we'll start with our teams because that's what we like to do. Let's start with the easy one, or what should be an easy one. Florida and FAU. Who you got?
I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough. FAU
It's a
coach,
whiteout, and you're not happy about it. So.
FAU coach coming on a prove it year, just got rid of Lane Kiffin's. Got to show, hey, listen, I don't give a fuck. I ain't Lane Kiffin. I'm still gonna get 8-9 wins. No, I'm kidding. I don't know who the coach is. Nobody ever cared about who the FAU coach is until it was Lane Kiffin. Now he's an Ole Miss.
And now it's
giving
all
them some
back
kind of relevance. And they're still like, hey, you're that school that had the guy that's in Seattle right now that's really ripped and shit, right? That's the only relevance Ole Miss has. So yeah, no, it's got to go to the Gators.
Yeah, it's Florida. So and then UCF and Boise State. I of course have to go with UCF, and I would even if I didn't go there. But what do you think?
UCF.
All right.
I feel like I have to go with them too, even though I didn't go there.
All right. So now
I did the smart thing. I acted like I went there, but I didn't pay shit ton of fucking money. I went on
just attend the parties, have a good time, and do your thing. So let's get to the actual ranked matchups now. 19 Penn State is traveling to Wisconsin. Number 12 Wisconsin. The Big Ten is up in the air now. I don't know who's supposed to be the best team. Penn State was the best team for a while, and then they just fell off the map. So what do you got for this match?
We go Penn State. Just because coaching. I don't know who the coach is, but I know Dr. Franklin, right?
Yeah, I think
James Franklin. He's the guy. I like how he looks. He looks cute with his bald head and his glasses. There's something about that guy that I like. He really took that program and turned it around and keeps them relevant in a positive way. After all the bullshit they went through. Yeah. And shout out Joe Paul. Let's get this open victory going on.
I think Wisconsin wins just because they win games like this, and then they'll go lose to Nebraska or some shit and then miss out on the Big Ten.
But do we know of anything? Like, do we know of any, like, it seems like with Wisconsin, they always have a guy. Right?
Yeah.
They always have a guy.
Usually it's like a linebacker or some shit.
I haven't really heard of it. I mean, it was Jonathan Taylor for a little bit, but I haven't really heard of anything.
They'll find somebody. That's the thing. Like one of those big cheeseburger eating dudes are going to let some running back run.
Somebody's like, man, Ohio State wouldn't let me start. You can start here, bro.
But no, they win the big games. That's just what they do. So I expect them to win this game as well. So the big game, as you talked about earlier, is Miami and Alabama. You actually gave Miami a chance. So I'll say first that I think Alabama is going to roll. I don't think they're going to win by 19.
I don't think they're going to roll.
I think they're going to win pretty big. So
I don't think they're going to. No, I don't think they're going to roll. Miami's going to come out and really put it on them. Miami's got a good defense. They are young.
Turnover chain and all that fun jazz.
Yeah, the last couple of years, they're just young and shit. They're bringing back, I believe it's either 8 or 10. It's flip-flop, 10 and 8. But either way, it's a veteran group there. Even if it's fucking sophomores or juniors, they've all played together. And that's got to benefit them. And it's Miami. They're not a bad school. So the kids that they recruited, for them to keep 8 starters that are coming back to start, it has to mean something. So that's going to help them out. And like I alluded to, Alabama doesn't have any fucking body coming back to play together really too much unless they were playing in practice or in trash time, which happens a lot in Alabama. So who knows?
Well, they have like another senior QB that's been on the team just backing up superstars.
Yeah, but it's not like the Clemson guy that we were all talking about.
The Goggy guy?
Yeah. He did play a little bit, and I had to try to say his name. I remember that now. But, so that's the only reason Alabama's going to win. If they don't, that's going to be fucking crazy. Like, it'll be insane. What was it, 2 years ago when Miami almost beat us? That was a close-ass game.
For sure.
And it's going to be crazy. Miami always comes out. Those season openers against these crazy.
They were like 7-0 a couple of years ago to start the season before they lost like 4 straight.
Yeah, so they really can come out there and fire. And who knows what can happen? Anything can happen outside of the Saban Lake. Anything can happen.
That's true. It is a road game, which is lucky for Miami to be home. I mean, so another Big Ten ranked matchup because the Big Ten got all the SEC love from this year. Indiana and Iowa, they're 17 and 18, 2 up and up programs. I mean, these guys aren't normally in there. But I went first last time. So what do you got? Indiana, I don't know anything about anyway, but
I don't know anything about either of these teams, but Iowa, they got that children's hospital next to them. They like to wave at them. So I got to go with Iowa on this one, bro.
I'm going with Iowa just because they're the home team. I honestly don't know anything about either.
Oh, you don't care that they're waving at the fucking sick kids with cancer? Fuck you too,
I think that's awesome. I don't know that it makes them better at football. But yeah, it'll be a good game, I think, because it's 2 teams that want to do big things, and whoever loses is done. in my
No,
opinion,
it's
because
got to be Iowa. They got fans in the crowd first time. I mean, I feel like they always had the upper advantage.
and they don't have pro teams, so they
Yeah.
live for this freaking football
Yeah,
team.
they always had the upper advantage because nobody had fans. They still
Yeah.
had a fucking hospital
The
that was
hospital
looking
kids.
and watching them.
And now they have fans and the hospital kids. All right, so now worse teams on the
Trying here,
not up and up, but one team that's trying to unseat Cincinnati for that Group of 5 bowl game thing, and that's Louisiana Raging Cajuns. They'll be facing Texas, the team that is just always shitty for some reason at this point. But it's in Texas, and I think the Raging Cajuns are going to get the upset. These guys know they need to go undefeated. Texas does not give a shit, I don't think, because this will be one of the last couple of years of Oklahoma
Texas
running.
doesn't have anybody.
It'll be the last couple of years of Oklahoma running the Big 12. So I think the Raging Cajuns are going to slap them in the mouth. I think it's going to be, I mean, if you want to take the +8 that they give you, that's an easy bet in my opinion, but I would take the money line, get a little bit more money, because I think the Raging Cajuns are going to win by double digits.
Wow. But yeah, no, Texas doesn't really have anybody. I mean, it's crazy. They've been such shambles that I don't feel like they were able to really do anything. And Sam Ehlinger has been able to show, except that nobody can pronounce his fucking name right in the NFL broadcasting systems, that he is good. Like, Sam Ehlinger is fucking good. I don't know if he made his team or not, but he played really good whenever he was on the field. I watched him, I think, twice. But I don't know if he made the team, but he's a baller. He was playing against 2s and 3s, but
isn't his little brother still there though?
Oh yeah, he is.
Texas?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. But no, I'm with you. The Raging Cajuns are going to win. They have a couple of dudes that were on that. I don't know if it was Last Chance U or whatever the last show that we watched was, but they have one or two seniors that were on that show, and yeah, no, I'm excited for them. We have Dakota Allen, is still on our team, third year on our team now, mostly special teams guy, but yeah, I'm definitely in love with that show. So I'm voting for the Raging Cajuns on this one too.
Nice. So last but not least, the actual game. If we were Corso, we'd get our headset or our headpieces ready. Georgia head into Clemson. It's Georgia and Clemson. It's the Dogs versus the Cats. What do you got? You got number 5 Georgia, number 3 Clemson in Death Valley, which I don't know why they be called Death Valley in Clemson, but what do you got? Actually, it's in Bank of California Stadium or whatever it is. Or sorry, Bank of America Stadium. I've been in California too long, where the Panthers play.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's there. But so it's kind of halfway probably between them. Maybe Clemson's still a little closer, but what do you got?
We'll have to give it to the SEC on this one.
Psych!
It's going to Clemson. It's going to Clemson. Dabo's going to continue to show why he's one of the best coaches ever and why Nick Saban is riding the coattails of the SEC being good forever ago as a conference whole, and it's really top-sided, and he's going to show, hey, listen, we'll beat the best team, we'll beat the second best team. It doesn't matter as to us as long as it's not in the championship game. We'll beat the SEC team. So I got to give it to Clemson.
Georgia always gets ranked too high, and they always, all they care about is beating Florida at this point, because if they beat Florida, they get to be in the SEC East and in the championship game as the SEC East, because Tennessee sucks. So it's always Florida or Georgia. So it's going to be those two guys. I don't think they care about beating Clemson. Like you said, Dabo does care. He wants to win. It's at their home. This DJ Ugalali guy wants to be the stud. He wants to be the guy. I couldn't tell you who Georgia has. But I think they're bringing back whoever it was that they had. But he didn't look that good against us. So I think it's going to be Clemson as well. I don't know what the odds are. I already dropped it, but it's going to be a close game. But I think Clemson's going to win it. Dabo is, in my opinion, the best coach in college football right now. And everybody thinks it's Nick Saban, and there's a lot of other good coaches as well. But Dabo, I think, is the best. He gets to beat up on a lot of ACC guys, and so he gets a lot of flack for it, but he shows up in the playoffs every year too. So
Nick Saban's definitely by far the best recruiter.
Yeah.
Have you seen the videos? Like, you've seen all the documentaries and the videos of him, the lake house and the experience and the tours and all this shit. Yeah. It's insane. It's insane what Alabama's done for these recruits. They show up. I mean, so a lot of people don't know when these recruits, these top 100 guys show up, a lot of schools show out. They let them put on a uniform. They have one custom made for them. They do a photo shoot and shit so they can take home pictures. They send them home with swag and all this stuff, and they bring them to campus. After Alabama's done with all that stuff, they say, okay, well, in 3 weeks, we have an invitation to Nick Saban's lake house with Nick Saban for 2 days. And it's insane. It's jet skis, it's boats, it's wakeboarding. It's just so much.
Yeah.
It's a bromance for 2 days. And there's no way that you're going to leave that and be like, yeah, I'm still going to go to Oregon. It was nice facilities.
Get a
like,
pair of free Nikes.
Yeah, no, you just kind of broed up with some guy that you might throw 3,000 yards to this season. Why the fuck would you not go and play with him? His strategy is
and you know they're just out at the lake throwing the football. That's all they're doing, getting that connection in.
Yeah, and I mean Dabo kind of incorporates the same thing. Whenever Trevor and Marvin and DJ Shark and LaVisca went to South Carolina to go kind of throw around and get some kind of camaraderie at Clemson's training facility. They ended up on a lake, at a lake house, on a boat, on a dock, hanging out, chilling. So I feel like, and it's the same kind of environment in South Carolina. They got lakes, they got beaches. Shit, they got beaches there too. So it's a nice. I was in Aiken, South Carolina, which is a little close to there. It's a little closer to University of South Carolina. A lot more Gamecock shit back in the day, but this was back in the early 2000s before Clemson was relevant. So probably a lot of bandwagon fans was like, I've always been a Tiger fan. So yeah, it's a beautiful place in South Carolina. So I can definitely see Dabo getting into a little bit of Saban ways and be like, yo, all I need is a lake, boat, and a couple of jet skis, some wakeboards, some skis.
Right.
I'll get all these guys.
When I got recruited to play soccer, they fed me shitty cafeteria food. I slept on the floor of some dude's dorm that wasn't even a player. He was just a guy. I mean, he went to school, but he didn't have any affiliation with the team whatsoever. And then I went to the coach's office, which is in the basketball gym. And after I got done talking with him, I was like, hey, like my ride doesn't leave for a couple of hours. Do you mind if I shoot around in the gym? And he said, no. I said, fuck this school. No, that's not why I didn't choose it, but that is what happened. I ate cafeteria food, slept on the floor, and didn't get to shoot around in the gym. So,
well, when I got recruited to the Army, I got a quality in double with a random dude, 10 p.m. sleep time, 6 a.m. wake time with a shitty ass fucking breakfast that included bagels and cream cheese.
Hey, bagels and cream cheese though. All right, so let's get out of here. You want to give the shout out?
Yeah, dude, I got it. All right. So lately we've been talking all this uplifting shit, talking about Kobe and all this stuff. But let's talk about something, that's more at home with a lot of people that are in our lives and stuff like that. Faking it till you make it. Sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes it has to be done. Sometimes, you're trying to start this new venture and people aren't taking you seriously. So, hey, I'm about this. I'm about this life. I'm about doing this. Maybe got to grab a couple old cats. Hey, what are you doing these days? Oh, I'm in JUCO. All right, cool. You sign on this little virtual thing real quick. Let me get you on this little football roster real quick. Hey, what are you doing? All right, cool. Come over here. Let's go get beat 48-0 by AMG real quick. That's all you got to do in life. I don't know the head coach's name. He's since been fired for everything. They played 2 games in 3 days. One nationally televised against IMG. They lost both games like 75-7, something crazy like that. But Bishop Sycamore, shout out to you trying to fake it till you make it. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. If you can't be the best, and if you're trying to start something, act like the best. But even if that doesn't work, and you have to start something new, and in today's day and age, there's 5,000 people trying to do the same thing. Maybe you're trying to be a TikTok star. You don't know what you're doing. Fake it till you make it, baby, and be a stud and not a scrub.